Good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you. I am Saranya Shetty, Manager Corporate Communication and Investor Relations, and I'm your host for this webinar. As you must be aware, we are going to do the webinar on Cement Outlook, which was released yesterday. Our presenters for today is Mr. Ashu Mishra, who is the Associate Director for the Corporates team, and Mr. Amay Joshi, who again is the Associate Director for the Corporates team. The webinar technology, as you are aware, is very interactive. We encourage you to submit questions to our presenters. You would see the questions dialog box. You can type your questions there and we will take all the questions once the presentation is done with. So without further ado, I would like to hand over the session to Ashu.
Thank you, Saranya, and welcome to all. Right, so we have revised the outlook on cement sector. So we have revised the outlook on cement sector from stable to negative last year to stable for FY16. Right, so I will just take you through the agenda. We would discuss about the demand drivers we feel which are bottoming out. Then the capacity expansion which is likely to happen over FY15 to FY16, and the reduction in input costs, which is very much apparent at least for last 4 to 6 months. Then overall the credit profile of the sector and our expectation for the credit profile going forward. Right, so we expect cement demand to see a growth of 6.5 to 8% CAGR over the period FY14 to FY16. The drivers for the growth, which we believe should be higher budgetary allocation by the central government for rural development, which is approximately 35% higher than their FY14 outlay, and overall likely ease of domestic macro factors such as interest rate coming down, inflation coming down, and overall improvement in the sentiment, and the development plan of government to develop smart cities, overall consolidation to happen in southern region, especially post the resolution of Telangana issue, and if there is any pickup in infrastructure projects that would add to the growth. Right, we expect cement players to add about 50 million metric ton per annum over FY14 to FY16 from on a base of about 370 million metric ton per annum capacity, installed capacity as of FY14 end, which gives you a number of about 6.7% CAGR growth capacity expansion. So the majority of expansion we expect will happen based on the announcement done by so many listed cement players. We expect about 30% of this capacity expansion to come in eastern region, followed by north, which we expect to add about 25%, which we expect to have share of 25% in the capacity expansion of 50 million metric ton per annum. So overall we expect the demand growth to outpace supply growth, and we would like to see cement utilization or capacity utilization to improve to about 73 to 75% at the end of FY16 from the current level of about 70 to 71%. However, given the difference in the pace with which capacity would be added in each individual regions, we expect the capacity utilization rate of eastern region to come down over next till by end of FY16 and to about 74-75% or 71% from the current level of 75%. And the region where we would expect substantial improvement in terms of capacity addition would be southern region, which has announced very low capacity expansion for next 1.5 years or for the period FY14 to FY16. We would expect their capacity utilization to improve from 56% for FY14 to about 61 to 63% by FY16. And the other region where we would expect substantial improvement in capacity utilization is central region, where capacity utilization should improve from 81% to 86% during the same period. As we all aware, over last 2 years from FY12 to FY14, the margins of cement players have been impacted because of substantial increase in input costs such as power and fuel and freight. The trend which we have seen at least in the year so far, we have seen the power and fuel costs as well as power and fuel and freight and forwarding costs are coming down. We would expect them to come down given the coal prices which have declined 10% for the period from April 2014 till mid of December. Year on year they have declined by 10% in INR term, which we expect should add at least 2 to 2.5% to overall EBITDA margin of cement players who are directly linked or whose power and fuel is directly linked with international market price. Similar trend we should expect in freight and forwarding also, given that trend in the diesel prices, especially over last 4 to 6 months, which has again started coming down. So it should also help in terms of bringing overall freight and forwarding costs down going forward. Right. So for to take you through the credit profile and our expectation of the credit profile of cement players, I will give the floor to Amey Joshi.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll just take you through the credit profile of the companies. For like cement, we have segregated between integrated players and non-integrated players. Integrated players means which holds around 64% of the total installed capacity. So we have classified as integrated players. So if we'll see the credit metrics of integrated players, because many of those integrated players are pan-India presence, so their credit profile remains stable despite headwinds we have seen in FY14. If you'll see the median interest coverage ratio, that is remain healthy at around 11.2 times, even net debt by EBITDA we call as a leverage, which is remain same at FY13 levels at around 0.8 times. However, their EBITDA margins have declined to around 15% in FY14 from 22.7% in FY13 due to we have seen substantial increase in input cost, particularly power and fuel cost and freight cost, because of addition of fuel adjustment component by railways, so that every 3 months they will adjust fuel adjustment component linked with diesel prices. So we have seen the EBITDA margins decline for these players. And the margins for these players have increased to around 17.2% in H1 FY15. This is basically led by increase in overall realization. We have a portfolio of around 6 companies. Like these companies have also negatively impacted during the period, with EBITDA margins declining to around 8.4% from 13.9%. And credit profile has also marginally declined, with EBITDA interest coverage ratio to around 6.7 times from 8.8 times, and leverage is deteriorated to 2.8 times from 1.3 times. So non-integrated players, means players who have substantial regional concentration, and they are fragmented players, like their cost, they don't enjoy the cost advantage. So these non-integrated players were more impacted because of their inherent features, and the margins. If you see the margins, the EBITDA margins, median EBITDA margins declined to 8% in FY14 as compared to 15%. Also, median interest coverage deteriorating to 2 times. Even leverage has also deteriorated to 6.6 times. We feel that although many players have announced big capex, greenfield expansion plans. But we feel that although they have announced the plan, which is unlikely to come on the board in next 1 or 2 years, unless until the cement cycle has seen like in upturn, which we have seen in 2010, 2011, which is highly unlikely in next 1 or 2 years. If I will now take you through to our India ratings rated companies. If you see the Lafarge India, which is rated by us at AA plus, and we have placed the rating on Rating Watch Positive following the global merger of between Lafarge and Holcim. So we feel that the global merger will translate favorable to Lafarge India, because this will impact its overall credit profile, and the merger will create a benefit to the overall company. In terms of Prism Cement, their performance was under pressure during FY14 because of operational issues, because one of their silo was not working for most part of FY14. However, now they have sorted out all the operational issues, and silo has also started from September 2014. So we feel that the performance is likely to improve in FY15 and followed by FY16. Then coming back to My Home Industries Limited, they have acquired Sri Jayajyoti Cements Limited. So their leverage has increased marginally. But given the presence and given the size and market share of the company, we feel that the credit profile remains stable and in according to the ratings. In terms of Brent Cement, which is located at Hyderabad, like they're the only their regional concentration, their revenues declined 7% to around 847 crores in 2013 as compared to earlier year. The margins have also declined to 7% in 2013 because of lower realization, because they are mainly concentrated in southern region, mainly in Hyderabad. Now last one, HCI, that is Heidelberg, their margins have improved in 8% as compared to 7% due to better realization, and we feel that now they have improved their overall operating efficiency. They have sold their Raigad unit due to which their operating performance was under pressure because of they has to purchase clinker from outside. Because of now they have sold the Raigad unit. Now we expect that the credit profile and as well as operating efficiency will improve for Heidelberg. Coming to overall industry as such, Ashu has already given the overview and our expectation in terms of cement demand growth in FY 2016. So in addition to that, now in July next, like new government has stressed that now they will convert all bitumen roads to cement concrete roads. So and now for that they will sign long-term agreement with the cement players. So we feel that these are some of the initiatives by new government, and if you are aware, if you take out the history, during NDA regime, we have seen this trend. The per day, in addition to road network, like highway network, is around 15 kilometers per day, as against we have seen in last 10 years, like previous government, we have seen addition to road infrastructure to the tune of only 4 kilometers. This is as per the affidavit filed by the previous government. So we feel that this new government, their focus will be on infrastructure activities, and recently RBI has reduced the interest rate, and we expect that everyone is expecting there will be further reduction in interest rate. So that will have a positive impact on the cement sector. So if you'll see the YTD cement production growth rate is around 9.8% as compared to around 4% in the last year. So there is a positive sentiment we have seen in the cement demand growth. As far as regional dynamics are concerned, as everyone is aware, like eastern region, like they are supply deficit zone, but now because of their supply deficit zone, many players have entered, and the capacities are likely to commission in next 1.5 year. So that supply deficit zone like will result in there will be higher supply region in next 1.5 year. So capacity utilization we are expecting to be remain lower for eastern region. As far as southern region is concerned, historically, which is the oversupply zone, and because of large limestone reserves located in the southern region, now we have seen that overall capacity addition in southern region likely to very negligible capacity addition. So southern region capacity utilization is likely to improve, and post resolvement of Telangana issue, and we have seen that new government, the main thrust will be the development of infrastructure for two new states like coastal Andhra and Telangana. So we will see there will be improvement in overall realization as well as the capacity utilization. Last year we have anticipated that consolidation to continue with there will be some M&A activities that will happen in cement industry, and as per expectation, India's cement industry saw the mergers and acquisition activities to the tune of 175 USD millions, which include acquisition and selling of some of the cement units by data-driven conglomerate. So we feel that there will be further consolidation in the Indian cement industry in next 1.5 years. That's it from our side.
All right, thank you, Amay and Ashu. As discussed earlier, we would request you please post your questions in the questions dialog box. We already have a few. The first one here is from Rohan Admane. By when do you expect improvement in government spending?
We expect that post this budget, mainly by Q1 of FY16, we expect that there will be some improvement in government spending.
And there was recent news article saying that they are already in talks to do smart, develop smart cities in the cities like Ajmer, and yeah, so definitely we would expect government to move forward from hereafter in terms of making infrastructure spending.
The next one is again from Rohan, which says, which sectors have actually impacted the sector, and how do you see user industry wise trend currently and going forward?
Yeah, so as we have highlighted in our report as well, that majority of consumption for cement comes from housing sector. So about 20 to 25% is from urban areas, where definitely over last 1.5 years we have seen that there have been low offtake, in terms of flat purchasing, and there have been substantial inventory as such in all major markets such as Delhi, NCR, and Mumbai. So there have been definitely slow demand in major markets, metro or you can say in metro cities. However, of late, we expect that substantial demand during especially in the year so far in FY15 has been from rural areas in the absence of any significant infrastructure development and significant pickup in infrastructure sector. So the demand is definitely coming from rural areas or city 2, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and we would expect going forward as the government kick-starts its infrastructure projects, the demand also to come from infrastructure segment. Though in our outlook we haven't assumed any significant spending, government spending to happen on infrastructure sector until FY16, but a substantial portion you can also expect to come in from there. And in FY15 in the first half, based on some industry sources, there have been pickup in real estate segment in metro cities, except Kolkata, where growth has been in the range of 5 to 6%. If that trends continue, definitely this particular segment could add to overall demand growth for cement. And if the overall economy improves, sentiments improve, you can also expect to see some activities happening in commercial real estate segment also. Amir, would you want to help?
We'll move on to the next question, which is from Ratin Mathur, which is Prism, My Home, Rain Commodities non-integrated players in your analysis?
Yes, Ratin, we have taken this Prism, My Home, and Rain Commodities are part of non-integrated players because of the regional concentration and the cost structure. Next question is from Prasanna Ramshankar. The question is, why do we say that capex cycle is not likely to improve? Aren't we looking at an industry that has an undertaken excess capex? See, Sunna, like we have already, we have if I understand your questions correctly, like what we want to say, that capacity, if you see the capacity imbalance in region wise, then southern region, the capex cycle is not expected to improve because many big players have already announced the capex, but they have not started, and which is not likely to get started in next 1 or 2 years because of their demand supply mismatch. The eastern region, like we have already seen the capacities, like with some greenfield and brownfield projects are coming up in that particular region. So we feel that the capex cycle for cement, because we have spoke to with many cement players, they are saying that unless and until we have not seen the up cycle that we have seen in 2003-2010, we are not going to announce any major projects. So we feel that as far as cement industry is concerned, capex cycle for cement is not likely to improve. The next question, any from Rashi Verma. The question is, any overseas companies planning to come in India? I will not able to give you any specific name, but yes, there are companies, overseas companies, MNCs, are planning to come into India via they are planning to acquire the cement companies who are having good cost structure. They are having who are having limestone mine rights, So yes, we feel that MNCs would come and buy in the Indian cement industry. The next question is from MB Mahesh. The question is, do we have an exhibit on the capacity addition in next 2 years? Also, any announcement by new players for capacity expansion? And also, he has missed the first part. What is the capacity utilization currently and expected for FY 2016 for the large, medium, and small players?
Yeah, hi. We have done analysis based on regions, and we based on the announcement so far done by the companies, we expect about 15 million metric ton per annum to be added over next over the year FY15 and FY16. And the question was, what is the current utilization rate for? If the question is for FY14, the utilization capacity utilization rate was about 70-71%, and we expect it to improve to about 73 to 75% by FY16.
The next question is from again Ratin Mathur. Do M&A affects capacity addition in India? And as per your report, 50 million metric tons per annum capacity will be added in FY14 to FY16. How much capacity addition in FY15? We believe that around 25 to 30 million tons will be added in FY15. The next question is from Rohan Mane. What are the downside surprises to our estimates of 6.5% growth rate? The downward surprises like economic slowdown. Then if in case like as you are aware, like the fiscal gap is reducing due to this crude oil meltdown, but if again the lower than expected government expenditure on the rural sector, which can adversely affected the cement demand growth that we have anticipated. And also the agriculture sector, which is the core sector, because many of companies are depending on individual home builders. So if lower than expected monsoons and which led to lower than expected growth in agricultural sector, will lead to negative surprises to our 6.5% growth rate in 2016.
ABG.
And
Next, ABG company.
yeah. And the next question is from again Rishi Verma. News and new companies expansion plan in Indian industry.
I think there is announcement by ABG Group to add about 5 million metric ton per annum capacity in the western region.
Again, next question is from Rohan Admane. Last year we have seen serious sluggishness in Indira Awas Yojana. Do we see any kind of improvement in demand from that side? Yes. Company like new government is targeting like housing for all by 2022. Like there are initiatives by new government like smart cities. So we feel that there will be definitely improvement in from that particular point of view. The next question is from Rishi Verma. Price outlook for next 5 years. Like Rishi, it's very difficult to predict realization for next 5 years, but as far as next 1 year or so, like we feel that this next 1 year or so will be definitely a good year for cement companies. The realization are expected to improve from the current level, but we don't feel that the realizations are likely to come down from the current level. That's what we feel. The next question is from Krutin Patel. With reduction in power and fuel and freight, do you see any possibility of reduction in realization? No, we don't feel that reduction in power and fuel and freight. We don't feel that there will be a reduction in realization, because if you see the history of cement, uh, it is, if any increase in input costs, they are directly passing on to the consumers. But if there are any decrease in input costs, it is highly unlikely that they are passing on those benefits to the final consumer. The next question is from Rashi Verma, like consumption trend for next 5 years. Again, Rashi, it's a very long term outlook. As far as consumption trade is concerned, I can give you the consumption trade for next 1 year or 1.5 years. Like we feel that like next 1.5 years would be good for cement industry because of various measures that are announced and we have discussed earlier, like smart city, then possible reduction in interest rate. So these measures, we feel that cement demand growth will be in the tune of 6.5% in next 2 years. The next question is from Ratin Mathur. Do you think more M&A will take place in FY15 in India? We don't think that there will be more M&A, but we feel that the large conglomerate which is having large amount of debt, they are expected to sell their assets, cement assets, in order to reduce their debt. The next question is from Rohan Admane. As government focuses on infrastructure, do you believe that the share of housing to come down going forward?
In overall by little, but not substantial.
Yes, on overall basis, the share of infrastructure is likely to increase in overall cement demand, but that will be to the tune of, like, infrastructure share would be increasing to the tune of 5 to 8%, not significant increase on the share of pie in overall cement consumption sector.
Alright, those are all the questions that we received till now. What I would suggest is, if Amay and Ashu could give us few key highlight points on the positive and negative side, which will impact our outlook on the sector. Just few key points is what we're looking at. In the meanwhile, if we get any questions from you, we'll be happy to answer those. Positive and negative.
The positive points, the overall cement, if you'll see, the first thing, the new government, their trust on the infrastructure activities, the further possibility of reduction in interest rate. The third is ease in input cost that we have seen due to meltdown in crude oil prices. Then for fourth thing, the capacity utilization as well as realization to improve because of increase in overall expected improvement in overall demand. On the flip side, if lower than anticipated government expenditure and cut in expenditure by government on infrastructure activities, which is highly unlikely, also any adverse economic activities will be negative for the cement industry.
Okay, we do have one question here, which is earlier we had the planning commission. According to them, 5-year plans for infrastructure was available. Do you think such 5-year plans will be available from Niti Aayog now?
In like yes, we feel that like new government has already laid down their plans in terms of infrastructure. They focus on infrastructure activities. So we believe that as far as infrastructure is concerned, like the Niti Aayog will have infrastructure plans that they will announce. Uh, then the next question is from Rohan
Coming
Ajmane.
out in this.
What is your coal and crude outlook? We are shortly coming out with the outlook on these commodities, so you will hear soon from our side.
Yeah. For as of now, given the sentiment globally about the crude oil, we would not expect any substantial increase to happen in the crude oil prices over short term. When I say short term, maybe you can take 4 to 6 months.
Alright, then for now, these are all the questions that we've received from you guys. Thank you so much for it, and I would especially like to thank our panelists for today, which is Ashwin Mishra and Amay Joshi. If you have any further questions, you could also email us on investor.services@indiaratings.co.in. A detailed report on the sector is also available on our website, which is www.indiaratings.co.in. Please do follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. You would get regular updates on the webinar that's happening for the coming week. For now, thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening ahead.